Right then, we will make a start. Thank you so much and welcome to the beginning of the new academic year, 2023-2024. Time certainly does fly. So I'd like to introduce myself and welcome to our presentation. They'll be able to hand you over to the Year 3 team. So I am Miss Brunton and this year I am Head of Phase. That means I'm in charge of overseeing Years 3 and Years 4. So for those people who you may or may not recognise me, last year I was Head of Year 4 and this year I am now in charge of both year groups alongside of our wonderful Head of Year 3, Miss Arnott, as well. So I've been at the Academy for a number of years now, getting up to close a decade out here in Dubai, and even more so years in the classroom as a teacher. So really grateful to have you here. Today this PowerPoint is all about some kind of more the functionality of being in Year 3 and just some kind of general reminders as well. You'll have received an email yesterday from your child's class teacher in regards to another event called Meet the Teacher in a couple of weeks. So this is about meeting the team, seeing your child's class teacher on Zoom, talking about some of those things in Year 3 coming up. But then in a couple of weeks' time, there'll be a Meet the Teacher event, and that's already been sent out on an email. If you do have any questions during the event, please feel free to put them in the chat. Obviously, sometimes those questions come in at a bit of a speed, so we do try and answer them as quick as we can. If we do miss you, I promise you we're not ignoring you. It's just that we haven't managed to get around to your question. So if that has happened, please feel free just to speak to myself. I'm down at primary reception on the morning, or ask your class teacher at drop-off time tomorrow. So without further ado, I'm very lucky to have many talented and experienced teachers here in Year 3. And leading that lovely team is your Head of Year 3, Miss Arnott. So over to you, Miss Arnott.
Thank you, Miss Brunton. Hi, parents. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's going to be really great to be able to share some key messages, as Miss Brunton said. So I'm lucky enough to be Head of Year 3 this year at the Academy. I was Head of Year 3 last year at the Academy as well, so I've got lots of experience in this year group as well as being the Head of Year 2. So I really hope that I will be able to meet all of the children in Year 3 and be able to get to know them and to get into the classrooms and to work all together with parents and children as well. So I definitely would not be able to do my job without an amazing team of teachers. So I'm very lucky now to be able to introduce those teachers to you. Now, we're very lucky that all of the teachers are going to be presenting to us today, so they will be chatting through different slides that they have, but I will just introduce them and let you know which classes they will teach in this year. So we have Mrs. Leach. She is our class 3A teacher. We have Miss Bartman, who will be in class 3B, and I also am a class teacher. My classroom is in 3C. We have the lovely Mr. Dean. He teaches in class 3D. We have Mrs. Carrington, she is our 3E class teacher, Mrs. Yasmin, she is 3F, and here we have Miss Ford, and she is our 3G class teacher. We have an incredible team of teachers this year, parents, with a wealth of knowledge and experience. We've had a fantastic start to the school term already, and I'm so excited for the year ahead. So if you do have any questions that you'd like to ask, then please feel free to email your class teachers. They would be more than happy to hear from you and to help you as a first port of call as well. And of course, as Miss Brunton said, I am here as an extra support as well as Miss Brunton too. Now, another fantastic team of people that we work with in Year 3 are our teaching assistants. We're very lucky in Year 3 that each Year 3 class has a teaching assistant, and these ladies are fantastic. They will be working closely with the children in the classrooms, as well as supporting the teachers to get our resources ready and just to make your child's experience at school the best we can make it. So we have Miss Monica, as you can see, she is our teaching assistant in 3A with Mrs. Leach. We have Miss Arlen, who's our class TA in 3B. I have the pleasure of working with Miss May. She's my teaching assistant and she will be helping the children in 3C. We have Miss Mercy in 3D. Miss Macliffe will be supporting Mrs. Carrington in 3E. We have Miss Lanny and she'll be in class 3F. And we have the lovely Miss Lily and she'll be supporting Miss Ford and the children in class 3G. So without further ado, everyone, I now want to introduce you to our teachers. They're going to be able to talk through some of the key messages that we have here at the Academy for your children in Year 3. And starting us off, we have Mrs. Leach. So I'll just get her slide ready for her. Here we go.
Thank you, Miss Arnott, and good afternoon, parents. Yeah, as Miss Arnott says, I'm Mrs. Leach and teacher in 3A. I'm sure I've seen some of your faces already. I'm just going to kickstart by talking to you guys about school timings. Some of it is very similar to last year, and then just some small changes as well. So drop-off time is actually the same for all children from year one right up to secondary, between 7:15 and 7:45. We do make a prompt start with lessons, our Grow Well session in primary in year 3 at 7:45. So please make sure the children are arriving at the latest at 7:40 so we can get the register done and get started with that. Pickup is slightly staggered. So in years 1 to 4, pickup is at 3 p.m. And then 5 and 6 in secondary, it's at 10 past. These times for pickup also then differ on a Friday. As you know, we have an earlier finish, a half day. So Friday pickup for 1 to 4 is 11:50 a.m, just slightly staggered. And for years 5, 6 and secondary, it's at 12. So please try and stick to the timings the best that you can. If you know you're going to be late, just email the class teachers. That would be fantastic. We have got ECAs starting really soon. They will be on Tuesdays to Thursdays, and they run at the same time throughout the week, 3:15 to 4:10. And in a moment, I'll show you where some pickup spots for those are. Thank you, Miss Arnott. So we will send out the slides to you so you can have a look at the map, this map a little bit closer, but I'm sure you're all getting to grips with the locations of pickup and drop-offs. For year 3, on the map, it's point C there. It's if you're looking at the building with the main reception in front of you to the right-hand side. I'm sure lots of you know where this is already, but that's a main thing just to point out there. Some other points that you'll probably be using if your children have ECAs is point E on the map is gate 15. So that is ECA pickup area for all primary, and then we've got gate 19 for those sort of extracurricular sports activities as well. But like I said, we'll send the slides to you so you can familiarise yourself with this. Thanks, Miss Arnott. And we know not all children get the bus, but if your child does take the bus, there are some timings for that as well, which I'm sure you're trying to get to grips with at the moment. That daily arrival is the same window of 7:15 till 7:40. Departure from school Monday to Thursday. Foundation stage 1 and 2 actually have a 1:30, so slightly earlier bus. But obviously for year 3 children, it's that bus leaving at 3:20 Monday to Thursday. And then to accommodate our earlier finish on a Friday, it is 12:15. And just to note there as well, we don't currently have bus services for ECAs at the moment. So arrangements do need to be made for those children that are staying a bit later. Please take note of that email and the number there. If anything changes in terms of bus arrangements for your children, please always let STS know, but most importantly, let the class teacher know as early on in the day as you can, definitely before lunchtime, so we can make those arrangements and have the children down ready at pickup time. But I think that's all from me, lots of information and times there. I'm actually going to pass over to Miss Bartman now, so thanks for listening.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Ms. Bartman, and I'm the teacher in 3B. I'm just going to share some information about the timetable and some uniform rules. So just starting with the timetable, this is just an example of a timetable, but each class has a different timetable. But there's one thing that we all share, which are our Grow Well lessons, which start at 7:45 a.m. So like Ms. Leach said, it's really important that all students are here and ready to learn by then. We've also got a mix of classes taught by our class teachers, which are the blocks in white, and our specialist lessons like Arabic, music, etc. They are the blocks in green. And the first half of the year, we have the children will have Spanish, and then in the second half of the year, they will switch to French. We also do have 2 projects for change lessons a week, which will involve history, geography, art, design, and technology as well. On a Thursday at 1 p.m., we have assemblies, which are student-led. primarily by our head boy and head girl and other student leadership roles. This is an opportunity for the children to be congratulated for their effort during that particular week. Okay, thank you. Next slide. Moving on to our uniforms. So the uniforms can be purchased from Threads, with all stores located all across Dubai. For children who have been at the academy, they should know which house they belong to. We have Onyx, which is black, Emerald green, Ruby, which is red, and Pearl, which is white. New students should have received an email from admissions telling them which house they are in. So on a non-PE swimming day, the girls can wear the WEC dresses, long pants or shorts with the WEC school shirt, and their scarf with their house color. Boys should wear pants or shorts or pants with the school shirt and their tie in their house color. And then on the days with PE or swimming, the children need to wear their PE kit, with the PE shirt being their house color. And we would also like every child to have the WEC school bag in their house color as well. Talking more about uniform and houses as well as home learning, we have Mr. Dean up next. So over to you.
Hi everyone. So yes, along with the clothes that the children are wearing, we've got really high expectations for accessories as well. So we do ask that children who have got long hair, like up to the chin or shoulder length, is tied back for health and safety reasons, for both boys and girls. But it's important to make sure that the accessories used for these are black and navy. And hairstyles and eyebrows mustn't have designs, shades in them, so no swirls or anything either. And we advise not to dye hair either, natural hair colors. Footwear, children for PE can wear fully white trainers, and for normal school days it's fully black formal school shoes, not black trainers. Children must wear black socks, black or white socks with these. Jewelry-wise, children can wear a watch or a pair of small earrings, no hoops though, again for health and safety reasons, and a plain necklace, no costume jewelry. Facial piercings aren't permitted, including nose and tongue. And if they are doing active lessons, which is PE that day, jewelry is not allowed during those lessons. It needs to be something children can take off themselves, or ideally left at home, so like off the cloth. School won't be accountable for anything that does go missing if that is the case. Excess makeup is something we advise against, and we try to make sure that the children's nails aren't coloured in bright colours or have acrylics on them. It's distracting and it makes it hard to grip the pencils. As Miss Bartman said, the Wellens backpack it is a requirement. It needs to be. We need to make sure that the bags aren't wheelies, for health and safety, so that people aren't tripping on them. And the Wellens backpack is plenty big enough to fit everything the children need. When they're in class, like sometimes they can get chilly with the aircon being on, so like the school jumper is allowed, but we do ask for no hoodie jumpers, and no like fashionable like branded jackets with that. On special occasions, so such as like International Day and things like that, the children might be allowed to wear their own clothes, but we do ask that it's culturally appropriate, and that again it's something suitable to wear to school for whatever activities they're doing that day. Moving on to their house teams. So all children are allocated a house, and hopefully they do know by now. In these teams, they can compete to earn rewards days at the end of the term by gaining house points based on some of our HPLs, so hardworking, agile, and empathetic. All staff around school look for the children demonstrating these key values, and they can earn house points for these. They also earn house points for things like healthy eating, to making sure that in their lunchboxes it's all healthy, apart from their one treat on Treat Tuesday. The PE kit should match their house as well. So as well as their time matching, the PE kit should, if they're in Pearl, should be white, the Onyx for black kits, red for Ruby, and the green for M. And the house is also used for events such as like sports day to earn extra points for their team. Next slide, please, Miss. Yeah, so on screen is a link, a QR code to the Padlet. So feel free to scan that now and have a look at what's talking to you about it. On here, you will find everything to do with our home learning. It's got the guidance for what we expect on Century. Is where you'll find the maths, English, and science tasks on there weekly. You'll also find our weekly spellings. The tests are usually on Monday, but that might differ, so please make sure you're checking the timetable for your class. All of these will be set on Wednesdays, so you've got the whole weekend to be practicing them. We do ask the children to do daily reading, just to help build their stamina and their fluency and expose them to new vocabulary. On there, you'll also find assignments for Islamic and maths. All homework will be due on Mondays as well. So start on Wednesday, due on Monday. I'll pass you over to Miss Carrington now.
Thank you, Mr. Dean. Hi, parents. I'm Mrs. Carrington and I am the 3E teacher. So I'm going to be presenting to you about the importance of reading at home, apps for the devices, and bring your own device. Okay, so I'm sure it goes without saying that, you know, we really value reading at the Academy, and the importance of reading, of course, is paramount across the curriculum, and you can help support that as well by reading at home. So we've got some data there about why reading at home is actually so important, and the difference between reading for just 5 minutes a day and reading for 20 minutes a day. So our recommendation is that parents are listening to children read for about 20 minutes a day, building that into your home routines however you can. Children can share books also with their siblings, and you can share the reading as well. You read a little bit and the children read a little bit as well. So yeah, we really recommend that 20 minutes per day would be an ideal amount of time for you to be supporting your child with their reading, because it will help across the whole curriculum. Children will be bringing home reading books in due course once we've done completed our assessments, and they'll also be bringing home a reading record, which you can see on the screen. The reading record is a place where they can record the books that they've read, any comments from yourself, or comments from the teachers, teaching assistants, and anyone that supports with the reading in school as well. It's also a really great guide because it's got lots of questions in it and tips and hints for how to support your children with the reading, and also different kinds of questions that we might ask them during our reading sessions at school as well. So it kind of mirrors that as well. So if you have any other questions about that, of course, you can ask your teachers, but yeah, books will be coming home in due course. Next slide, please, Miss Arnott. Okay, so we're really excited to be introducing to the Year 3s this year, their first year for Bring Your Own Device. So with that, we've got some useful apps and websites that we use to support the learning in school. So all these apps that you can see on the screen are all directly linked to things that we're doing in the classroom, and fun ways to get them working and developing key skills in different areas. So we've got Times Table Rockstars, which is a big focus for times tables, learning times tables, and a really fun way of doing that for them. We've got Accelerated Reader, where children will be bringing home books from the library during their library sessions. One of those will be an accelerated reader, and they will do little quizzes about that, which will give them instant feedback about how well they've done, and also keeps track of, you know, where they're progressing in reading. We've got Century, which is a really key app that we use for home learning, but we also use it as a diagnostic tool, assessment tool, and to develop skills within the classroom as well. We've got Upstrive, which links to our wellbeing curriculum, and Grow Well, where children can check in how they're feeling. Lots of different things going on there. Maybe that there's an incident happened and they want to kind of speak to the teacher, but they're a bit shy. So it's a great way of them recording kind of how they're feeling throughout the day. And then, of course, we've got Seesaw, which I'm sure is you're familiar with, a lot of the parents, okay, where they might do small tasks in the classroom. We might not use Seesaw every day. It's a bit different than how it is in the younger years, but we use it at times for the learning in the classroom. Next slide, please, Miss Arnott. Okay, and finally from me, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the bring your own device. So now the children are in lower key stage 2, it is a requirement in order to maximise the learning opportunities that children do bring tablets and devices. We recommend Apple iPads because they're a little bit more user friendly and all of the apps are suitable to use on that. Sometimes Android apps, we can get a few issues with those. So we recommend Apple ones, but Android, if you've got it, is absolutely acceptable as well. Devices should be kept in cases and obviously just to protect them for a little bit, and also headphones can be brought into school as well, so they can use those if we're using things like Sensory or Accelerated Reader in the classroom. We just really want to stress to you that the iPads that are used in school are there only to support the learning and are only used with the supervision of adults. We don't allow iPad uses at break times, when walking through the corridors, at the end of the day. It's always with adult supervision and always linked to the learning. And iPads are kept in the day in a safe space, not on tables where children can access them. So they're kept separate and obviously used only with the adult supervision. So sometimes we use them a lot in the class, we might not use them for a couple of days, but it's useful for your children to bring them every day into school to support that learning in case we do need them. There will be some information coming home about that in the form of a letter which explains a little bit more about the safety and the usage of it. So just look out for that. I'm now going to pass over to Mrs. Yasmin.
Hi everyone, I hope you can hear me. This is Mrs. Yasmin and I am Class 3F teacher. I hope everybody's well and thank you so much for your time today. We will be sharing some fantastic learning and events that your children will be taking part of in different and various subjects on these social platforms. So keep an eye open for those. Next slide. Thank you. And we are a healthy eating school, and so really promote healthy eating habits. So please make sure your children are bringing in a healthy snack and a healthy lunch. It is crucial and it's so important, for them to, have lots of energy, positive energy, and really be able to concentrate on everything that they're doing in school. We do have a Treat Tuesday day where they are allowed to have one treat. And teachers are allowed to have one treat as well. I know that we have healthy eating monitors, and they are always keeping an eye out and really promoting healthy eating and rewarding the children. They even look at teachers' lunches, so we have to sneak a bit of a treat here and there. And I know that in the past we've had some really strict monitors who were like, okay then, Miss Yasmin, you're not allowed to have that treat, it's not Treat Tuesday. So they really do take it seriously. Of course, water bottles, water is so important, especially at the moment, it's so hot. So please make sure your children have plenty of water. And yes, just we're really promoting a really healthy lunch box and a healthy snack. Thank you so much for that. Next slide, Ms. Anna, thank you so much. And I'll just introduce to you our wellbeing school counsellors and also the Director of Inclusion. So we have a school counsellor called Miss Benja, and we've got Miss Johnson, who's also one of our school counsellors, and we have the lovely Mrs. Bradwell, who is the Director of Inclusion. Thank you for your time. Over to Miss Ford.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Miss Ford and I'm 3G's class teacher this year. So lovely to have you here with us today. I can understand that there might be a little bit of information overload, but we will be sending this out after the presentation. On the screen at the moment, you will see some useful academy contacts. I'm not going to go through them all, but there are various different people that you can contact throughout the year should you have any questions. Obviously, any questions can be directed towards your class teacher. However, there are just a couple that I would like to highlight. So reception The reception email address is in the top middle there, and we've also got the primary reception phone numbers. Should you need any immediate contact with your children, or you've got any questions, it would probably be best to contact them first, because as teachers, we obviously want you to contact us, but we're busy teaching during the day. So anything of urgency, I don't know, perhaps a child has forgotten their PE kit or something, or they need to leave early and you haven't sent an email, contact primary reception. On the bottom middle column, we've got the attendance email, so absence_WEC. It is really important that you do let class teachers know, and you copy in the attendance team if you know that your child is going to be absent, so that we can update our registers accordingly. And finally, for me, an important one is probably the WEC clinic. So if your child has got any medication or any medical needs, you can contact them directly. Thank you. Next slide. And the final thing from me is parent communication. Obviously, we love to share all of the things that we do in the school and keep you updated with what's going on with your children's learning. As Miss Yasmin said, we do have our social media channels, so Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. In addition to that, we will be sending out a weekly newsletter on a Friday, which will have a little summary of what we've been doing in class. It will also give you some important dates and information and things perhaps to look out for. You should have your class teacher's email address. So really that's your first point of contact for any questions that you may have. We have booked meetings that you can book with your child's class teacher. This could be via a phone call, via Zoom, or it could be through face-to-face. We share termly reports with you, and we do have student-led conferences. And I think in a couple of weeks' time or next week, we've actually got a small open morning for you to come in and meet us in person. And the final thing that's not actually on there, but most of you will be familiar with Learning Ladders, or Learning Ladders at Home, as you might have heard it called. That is an extra level of communication where you can see which objectives your child is meeting. Again, it's kind of updated on a weekly basis, and it also, if you click on the objective, it can give you some helpful information and activities that you can complete with your children to help support that learning at home. And the final thing from me is about the parent WhatsApp groups. So we know that parents do have parent WhatsApp groups, and that is absolutely fine. They are fabulous for socialising with the classes and the community. If you are looking for any official communication, then please speak to the school about that directly. And for anybody that is not already in the parent WhatsApp group, we will try and look at getting you in those soon. So whoever is the admin for those groups can add you to those. Now I'm going to hand you back over to Miss Arnott and Mrs. Bunton.
Thank you so much, Miss Ford. And thank you, teachers. It was great to just hear those key messages from everyone. So really appreciate you explaining there. So thank you so much for your time, parents. Like a few of the teachers have said, we appreciate that's a lot of information all at one time. However, the slides will be sent out to you, and I believe a recording of this Zoom will also be communicated to parents as well. So thank you so much for your time today, parents, and we're very much looking forward to a fantastic academic year. Okay, just take some time now to say goodbye, and we'll see you very soon. Thank you very much, parents.